and welcome to Waking God's Child with myself, the Roxy Files, and Shannon of Children of the Most High tonight for
Hello.
our live group conversation.
Hello, hello. How is everybody doing? I hope
Are you
everyone's well
there,
tonight.
Shannon?
I
She's
am. I am here. Can you hear me? Oh no!
we
Really?
hear you.
Oh
There she
gosh.
is.
Oh,
I know what's going on. I don't have it on the right channel here. Okay. You know why I don't see it on mine? I didn't have it on the right channel, so that's what's going on.
okay. Yes.
Okay,
Hello.
guys, we made it. Welcome to Waking God's Child YouTube channel again. Channel. Wow. I've been looking some windows tonight, and I hope everyone else has as well. That will make me feel a lot better about what's going on here. So, it was an obstacle getting on here tonight, was it not? And I think it was my end, probably.
It was very interesting. I mean, we
Well,
got a whole slideshow.
video,
Crazy.
Video type thing.
Video.
And a
wailing
whole lot of,
music that was elevator type, not so good.
yeah. And then there was like 3 minutes of, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can
Can
you
you hear
hear
me now?
me?
Can you, I don't know what.
It was more
It was
like
like a
Somebody tell me
Verizon
now.
commercial.
that was
Yeah,
fun.
I'm pretty sure none of the cell phone companies are going to want me on their commercial. Be like, she is off her rocker. So,
I'm off. Can
great,
you
ladies.
hear me?
There you
Can you
go.
hear me calling?
She's got the jingle. She's got the jingle for you, y'all. Gotta love a jingle.
It's a
Okay,
I
so
song.
see you out there, Clayton.
is the chat showing up all right? Right? It's just the way it is. I cannot see. It's so small on here. Can you ladies see it? Okay, the
I,
chat.
I
I
can
think
see it
the
somewhat,
layout's not so
but
well.
these chatters are some of they're probably on mine or Shanna's channel. That's our regulars in there. We got Big
Yeah.
E and Clayton and Miss
Hello.
K. Hello, lovelies.
Gotcha. Okay.
Hello.
Well, mine should be showing up somewhere soon. And unless they actually gave up on me by now, and I do not blame them because
It
that was
should
dumb.
integrate them all together when it's putting them on
Well,
the
no, there's
screen.
only supposed to be just one. So, I mean, I got there's two social media, but it it keeps sourcing other channels that were way way long ago, and I don't know where they came from, how they got on here, but it's okay. It's okay. I think the main thing right now for me is why can I not get this chat to, I don't know, why is it not showing like it should? I mean, we should have done this from Roxy's end. She's way better at this than me.
Yeah,
She is so much better at this.
Well,
Sorry.
probably what we need to do, Lisa, to be honest with you, we probably just all need to be in one studio together and share the bill.
Oh,
Yes.
that would work too because I'm almost done with this one, and I was either going to renew it or I'd rather just pay you. And because what am I
No,
doing all by myself? That is really
actually,
aggravating.
I kind of liked that. I was gonna say,
I did not. I really not a fan.
really, I thought it was such a beautiful thing.
Roxy's so good at this part. Like this is her thing here. So. And I just wish I could see the chat. I mean, I literally need a microscope right now. So it's okay. Get my
Can you
googly
not
eyes.
open your chat? We do have a subject, guys. We're not just here to like goof off and laugh, but
Oh, we're not?
it's for some
Yeah.
our
Just
studio software looks completely different tonight. This
yeah, I might have an old version or something too. If
I don't know.
well, I've had Restream for quite a few years, but I don't know. It looks different on my end as well from what it used to look like. So
In the past 30 days, there have been 3 different versions with the buttons moved around on me and Shannon. So it's not
here
just you.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Welcome
it's
to Friday
pretty.
night, guys. This is what we do at 10:30 on a Friday night on the East Coast. We pull our
Friday
hair out
night.
about software.
Yes, and poor Roxy, she's already way later than Shannon and I. I'm in Texas, she's in LA, and so Roxy's having to stay up extra late for all the nonsense that was involved with this. So it's gonna be kind of a quick one, more or less though. What we're discussing is it's an AI type, discussion, and for good reason. We're wanting to know if you guys feel like maybe the same way that many of us are feeling, that AI might be outsourcing the human mind, or are we becoming dependent on it, or more so lazy, forgetting ways to think, and what does our future look like using this? So
You mean, have we entered into the Terminator now? I mean, I
I'll
believe
be
so.
back. So
Oh yeah. I fully
yeah,
believe we're in full on Terminator. See, we've just been jumping from like movie to movie. I think we're at the like part where Sarah Connor meets the Terminator to create the sun. Like, I'm thinking that all of us
yeah,
women can see, like, last night's conversation was about, my Mad Max outfit. So today I have to rethink a whole new costume to Sarah Connor.
Oh no, wait. I'm thinking we're more at like the second one where he's like some teenager who is starting to come into his own, and
Oh my
freaking
gosh.
Terminator comes back and says, dude, you're the dude, so I got to protect you now because you reprogrammed me and blah 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 blah. I think that's where we're at, because we're a heck of a lot closer.
that
Like, that
is
kid has
true.
been burned, man. He's a teenager.
Yeah,
For sh
that
Oh my
that's a good
goodness.
point. Are
I
you sure we're
never
not
thought about
Resurrection Day or something like that? Because that's how it felt like to me right now. So,
I
um,
can't remember what the name
I don't know. That's the next one that we're going to be making while we're in LA together. So, isn't that where we're going? Where are we going? Where are we going
Oh,
again?
us?
well, on the outskirts of LA, a little further down south, which
Yeah.
is it's a little bit quieter, but still surrounded by some cityscape and close enough to where literally I am about an hour and a half from LA, about 45 minutes from the desert, about 45 minutes from, the San Bernardino mountain area, but even closer to some mountain area than that, and then like an hour away from the ocean. So it's pretty good
Gotcha.
little spot. Yeah. We could
Big
literally do
E?
all in one day if we were insane enough to do that. But
Yeah,
I'm
I ain't got
totally
that kinda
insane if you can't
energy.
tell. So,
Listen, these are not the knees of a 25-year-old woman anymore. I've done a whole lot of booty shaking with these knees. They don't wanna do what they used to do, okay? They need to rest.
girl, I walk with
Just
a
saying,
cane.
just
Okay,
saying.
so you know.
I'm at the part I'm just about to start faking an injury so I can ride the scooter at Walmart, okay?
Dude.
I'm not gonna lie. I want to hitch a ride on one of those. So. No, it hurts to do a
Oh,
lot of
girl.
things though these days. It does. Getting older is not fun, folks. It is not fun, especially when you have an AI data center coming to a town near you. Hence, right here. So, I guess kind of
Mhm.
a little bit
Well,
to do
Big
with it.
E
So,
just said something about, he was thinking about AI earlier, and he said, "What if it blackmails you with pictures or something you took in the past?" Baby, it don't need to blackmail you
right?
with the past. It'll just make some new ones up.
Yeah.
I mean, just think about it, and we already know that they've been a lot of show and tell on those. We're showing people like stealing stuff from the grocery store that aren't actually stealing, and just apps that just what is it like labeled as like kid your friend, joke on your friend, and make
Yeah,
this video. I mean, it's scary what is taking
There,
place, and you don't
and
know
I
it's real anymore. So
right, and I can tell you there is nothing from my past that everybody pretty much can't find, and so I would not be ashamed. Everybody already knows, and I've already been honest with it. So if it's new, that's where it would be like,
well, Shannon, I'm
yeah,
a private
mm.
investigator, and I know everything about. I'm just kidding. I have
Yeah, I
not
was
researched
just
any of
saying.
these.
I was
Not
like,
in
it would not be hard to
Nor would
find.
I, because none of us have pretty anything. I really don't know what yours looks like, but I could probably top you. So, we don't have any shame in our games, and we have nothing to hide. We're as real as it gets. So that's how you know we're not
listen,
AI. So,
everybody that Jesus chose in the Bible had a checkered past. There was drunks, murderers, wanderers, adulterers, prostitutes. These are the people he chose to carry his message. These were people that had been through turmoil in life and had scars and bruises and bumps, and they had the wisdom of the knowledge of failure. If you've had the easy ride your whole life on top of the mountain, you cannot appreciate the depth of the valley if you've never seen it. You
Well,
can't you can't if you've ever been poor, you respect money a little more. If you've been rich your whole life, nothing is without of your reach. You don't respect that money. It's no more to you than paper or anything else. But it's like anything else. You can't on a roller coaster. If it went on a flat plane in a circle, it's no longer a roller coaster. It's a merry-go-round. You ride a roller coaster for the up and down. Life
Good
is a roller
point.
coaster.
well, and this is very important for the kingdom of Jesus Christ, because I'll tell you from my experience when I was, a teenager and in rebellion and, fully programmed in certain things, of course, rebelling against the program in other ways, whatever. I, and then I keep, why am I losing my mind today? What is
It's because I caught it over here and then I lost it too. So
wrong?
my
Oh,
bad.
but yeah, those who have gone through such a hard past, when you get a group of people who are big time church goers, have spent most of their life, seem kind of Bible thumpy and a bit on the judgmental side,
Oh
places
yeah,
that,
I know all about
when
that.
it pushes away, we ended up making fun of it. We pushed that away. We felt shamed from it,
Mhm.
and it didn't really help to bring in those. And then I've been through heck and back, came to Jesus and tried out some churches after being born again on this level. And even still, when you deal with a sheltered crowd of churchgoers that have been, they all pretty much grown up in the church. There's only been so many newbies that have come in, but they want them to come in. They encourage them to come in, but when they come in, it's like awkward, and they automatically turn up their nose without even realizing they're
Judgment.
doing it in
Oh yeah,
judgment. But they don't realize that it's, those are broken ones and things along those lines. Those are the people that they cannot relate to. So when people like us really come into the fold, there are others that we can reach, those that can understand that brokenness because we've lived it, and
yeah,
in another way. And it's not that their intention wasn't good, it's just they don't understand when you've had a sheltered life all you're growing up in that church. And it's weird being the odd one out, although I got to teach them a little bit of tolerance in their life when it comes to you want to bring in acceptance, you want to accept in, I mean, outside people to come to know Jesus Christ. You got to be ready for a whole different variety of people.
you betcha. That's exactly
There
right.
there's a great group called Set Me Free that, out of all of the groups, I'm sure there's some stuff that's culty in it. Who knows? I don't know. But they've helped out a lot of people I knew who were really into the gangster stuff and, really lived hard lives. People who lived on the streets on drugs and prostitution, and they accepted them wholeheartedly, tattooed faces and all. But when all those types of people go into a normal kind of church, they're already getting the looks like, oh my God, who is this in our church? And they don't even necessarily realize they're staring in judgment that way. It's already pushing away somebody who's there for Jesus Christ, not for you and your comfort.
Exactly, exactly. So Yeah, somebody asked if this is live. Yes, this is live, and it's the worst live I've ever, did.
It is not.
Try.
It is not.
I
Yeah.
We
tried.
got to get
Lord
you an
knows I
intro.
tried. I
We
usually
got to
though
get you an
experience
intro.
this when the topics are right about where they should be, if that makes sense. So
Yep.
it seems like when you're on topic, that oh wow, I have a June bug that's visiting me right now. So yeah, seems like whenever did you go away? It's not even June, and they're visiting. It seems like when you're like on a topic that's very relevant, that's when you encounter the most obstacles to utilize those measures that would allow your voice to, carry over to other individuals and reach a higher number of individuals, I should say. So, but that's
100.
Candy and I experience that a lot. So, have you guys also, you and Roxy, Shannon?
Yeah. All the time.
Yeah, that's what I
Oh,
noticed with a lot of channels like that, right?
yes.
It's
It's on
crazy.
purpose.
Yeah, I know. I
Now,
definitely made them do it. So, but
so anyways, these data centers, right? One of the interesting things that we have really kind of rediscovered, should we say founded for
Founded, yeah.
found
posterity's
it.
sake?
I found
I
it.
we founded it. We we really came to the understanding that these data centers are ancient. They've been around since the
Millennium.
time of the fallen, or others, everyone's heard the story of Atlantis, all of that kind of stuff, pre-flood technology. And
Mhm.
there's this is a theory in the middle of this, but there's theory on, at least on my end, and possibly Roxy's, I'm not sure, but that there's been tampering and refining it throughout some ages, and disaster happens because it wasn't meant to be. They didn't do it right or something along
Right.
those lines. It wasn't the
Well,
right timing. They didn't have the right ritual blood sacrifices. Who knows? But it ends up causing disastrous resets. Not
well,
quite to the flood, but
well. When
Yes.
I go back and I look at history, and I look at, and I don't mean just history. I mean going back and looking at geology and time markers of when happened, and you zoom out and you look at these continents as a whole, and like, why are some of them parched in the middle, and different things like that. And when you go back and you look at when the geology says this happened and the stories that were happening, and they keep relating to the fact that every time we try to split the atom with hadron colliders and CERN
Hmm.
and cloning, because cloning is splitting the atom. You are messing with our Father in
Thank
heaven's
God, right there. Yeah.
design. Yeah, you're playing God. Every time we start trying to play God and have Cabbage Patch Kids and orphan trains, all of a sudden Tartaria disappears.
There you go.
Like, and you got places that committed this type of thing, and fallen angels that did it, and every time it happens, kaboom, you got a flood.
Yep.
And I
Mhm.
still believe that something happened in Antarctica, and that's why it's covered in ice. I think there was possibly an extinction level event there that
Oh
caused a
yeah.
nuclear winter that caused that 7,000 foot of ice in some places to be.
I mean,
Melted the
scripturally
world in
wise,
some places and caused ice in others.
Yep.
we have only had one mass worldwide flood.
Exactly.
And the covenant that the Most High gave us with that rainbow, even though there's, questions on what the actual rainbow truly is, but the beautiful rainbow is supposed to
The
show the
promise.
covenant, the promise that he would never flood the earth again. And in the very end, it's supposed to be destroyed by fire. But I do think that in a lot of areas, there have been different types of resets, like nuclear certain things
Well, you
or
got Sodom
certain
and
other
Gomorrah, you
types.
got Babylon, you got
Right. Well,
lots of
Sodom and
places like that.
Gomorrah, that,
Mhm.
when they have found that actual area, they did find just millions of little pieces of sulfur residue, and they had it tested, and it was the purest sulfur they have ever seen. So the true, story of it being destroyed by God by fire and brimstone, like, is legit word for word. It
Yes.
was melted and destroyed by God Himself.
You can
you
see
know
the results all over the world. I mean, melted brick, melted everything. Up 100%. It's crazy.
and that's, they were people would kind of question a lot biblically, like, why would God give such wrath then? It was so horrible then. It's like they were doing the stuff that Epstein, or Satan's hemorrhoid was doing. It's the same
Exactly.
thing. I mean, they tried to grape angels, dudes. They
There
literally
you go.
tried a whole city tried to grape angels.
Exactly. No, that's so right.
Like,
Yeah.
what?
I
So
mean, everything you're saying though, that's right, dead on. Where everyone else should be thinking on the same level, and all of these things kind of add up to kind of where we are today, and are almost the equivalent. And we're the cavemen now, as far as my own
mhm.
opinion goes. We are the ones that are not advanced. We are considerably unga bunga, dude, in my own
What,
opinion.
like,
But
what,
I
like,
actually I actually explained to a girlfriend tonight who we haven't talked a lot in the past year or so, we've started talking again. And like she's I don't know. Anyway, we were talking and I'm trying to like find things that she can relate to try to like I'm not going to say that she's not awake, but she's never had a need or want to dig into it. So I was trying to find something to get her curious. And I
mm,
start telling her about some of these things and she just it's like it's almost like it's too much. Like it's too I don't even know how to explain how
yeah.
far ahead our government's tech is versus the tech that we as mere normal citizens think they have.
Well,
Like
I can
um,
vouch for
we're
that
sitting here
just because
worried.
of the life I lived before and who I was married to. So, yeah, that is where we are so technologically in the behind. Quite literally, it's not even funny. Our technology is so much. We're about 40 years. If people say 20 years ahead, I promise you, our government, the world government, because that's what it is at least 40 years in advance, if
Oh,
not
I'd say
more.
100.
We go into
I'd say 100.
those wars. Thank you. Yes, and that's 100%. And that's probably
well,
still being generous. But we didn't go into these wars. And trust me, I was a military wife then, of kind of a significant individual. In that portion of the military in which we're structured as. We'll just put it like that. But I know that's we weren't going there because of what they say. I assure you. I
Oh
assure
so
you.
no.
So
so
I
I
mean,
I had some really insane dots kind of connect in just this last 5 minutes here. And like, considering the show we did earlier with Daniel on the supernatural show and Logic Before Authority, we were talking about how, the stuff going on on the world stage right now and implications of it and those types of things. But we had mentioned that there's factions, the white and blue dudes, not the Greeks, who
right and blue.
have minions all over the place that have wanted to cause the apocalypse to go down. And what if Roxy, right? Because to you, like, what if Napoleon and like all these particular Alexander the Great, or these like big time conquerors that you hear about who started, had these great big wars. The man with the mustache, all of these dudes were trying to be that dude and trying to start it, but it wasn't the right time and it would cause catastrophes and things because they were messing with stuff they didn't have permission to do yet, but they were really trying. And it just keeps cycling through these different ages. This is just my theory.
No,
Well,
that's a good one.
everything is cyclical. I mean, it's going to continue to cycle. And just like we know, everything was predetermined and pre written long before it's ever came here and happened. And you have to take that in a concept that everything you're seeing on the news right now has already happened and played out. You're behind. Like, and there are some people, and I'm sure my friend Lisa there can confirm this. There are people that are no longer in service that will tell you they will be sitting at home, have left whatever skirmish it was, been home a month on R&R, and all of a sudden the news comes up of a breaking news now, blah 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 happened, and
Mm-hmm.
they were there. It happened months ago, but it's just now coming on the TV because it's
Right.
been
To live
cleaned
that
up and
life. Yes.
neatened up and put in a box. Like what you're seeing on TV has already happened.
Well,
It's central casting. It's all a show. It's a movie.
I can tell you, like, when it comes down to technology, I know Lisa probably knows a heck of a lot on this, but this I know I can speak about because I've been speaking out about it and I don't really care. But in 1999, William Joy, God knows why he came up to me, and came up to me in a coffee shop and told me all this stuff and told me his father had created the microchip that goes in your hand, right? And he
Yeah.
was telling me all about it, and that was sold to the military industrial complex when he died and stuff by his evil sister, who works for NOAA, by the way, Linda Joy, in
Yeah.
case you're
I
wondering who that is. Uh-huh. But for interesting terminology, he used things like Das Boot and blah, blah, blah. He was implying that his father, who died, probably in the 70s time, was definitely working on this and had it done by like late 40s,
Yeah.
early 50s, right around the time that a lot of the MK stuff was starting to really pop off in the school systems through Gateway and all of that. So that chip was already there. And that's, gosh, I mean, how many years before it was introduced on the world stage?
Well, they've got so good at conning people that okay, here's a double con of a psyop. Roswell, New Mexico.
I'm a New
It's all
Mexican.
over. It's all over the papers back in the 40s. Roswell, was it a UFO? So they phrased it on the Inquirer and everywhere else that there was a UFO caught in 1943. It was
Mm-hmm.
an unidentified flying object. The problem is it just had a swastika on the bottom of it. We stole tech.
Yep.
It wasn't a little green man.
Oh, we've been
But they
stealing tech for so long. So
But
long.
well, not only did they sit there and gaslight us into
Mm-hmm.
believing it was all a fake alien UFO plot to draw attention for tourists, they
Yeah.
faked you to the point that you didn't even think anything crashed there.
Right.
So not only was it a double fake, we were trying to snatch um little man with the mustache's tech
Yeah.
because we had already had a battle in Los Angeles over the water
Mhm.
with little man's tech.
I'm from New
Right.
Mexico. My grandfather could tell you some things when he was still alive that, you know, leads to more on a what we took as far as technology goes, and not little green men that crashed there. And I was born in the Albuquerque Presbyterian Hospital to an Air Force father, um, and then it went on to marry, military naval SEAL. UTD SEAL, for any of those that are familiar, and stationed at what is now known as Team 6. But then it was DevGru, DEVGRU. And you know what? Let's just put it this way: everything you all know that's outside of any of that loop, it's delayed. It's a lot of it's fabricated, and a lot of you are not understanding that this has been set up and put into place for millennia. It literally has.
Yeah.
It is ancient and old. It comes from those who fell, much of it, if not the biggest portion. And when some people are talking little green men, I'm talking the fallen, because you're still singing the same song. It's just to a different melody. But the melody's still very much alive and happening every day.
Right? Because Area 51 didn't exist until when? The 50s?
Yeah.
It was at the timing. Now,
My dad,
I
my dad
recall,
was alive then. Yeah.
I
I mean, he is
recall
alive.
that Jack Parsons and L. Ron Hubbard had done this ritual rite in that spot. That's where they supposedly had, opened up a portal. I can't remember. It's like Babylon, the Babylon
Oh, yeah.
Rising.
I know what
Ri-
you're talking. Yes, yes,
And
yes.
that's right after all of that. And they said that they opened up something, a portal, and something definitely happened and things were coming out. And that's when, right after that, Area 51 showed up. So, I mean, the founding of that space to begin with all was born out of ritual and some type of portal opening. And we know it as like a place of hidden extraterrestrial, interdimensional, whatever you want to call it, tech. But it was kind of like the starting point of that whole spread of that portal being opened. That Aleister Crowley, who was all buddies with all, both of those dudes before falling outs happened between people, you know, they were all about, I mean, Aleister Crowley spoke with that Lamb character or Iowas,
Yeah.
who he drew to looks exactly like a gray alien to what we know
Yes.
today.
Yeah. And alien just
Listen,
means not from here. And those who fell were not from here. But I mean, there
murder.
are portals, rituals, and ancient old structures all over the U.S. just as much as there is anywhere else, and people don't realize that. And then we discuss, like, again, me being from New Mexico. Everyone talks about the Anasazi, right? The Anasazi, and they just simply just disappeared. But I grew up 30 miles from one of the biggest ancient ruins left there from that they say was built by the Anasazi. And here's a funny thing: Anasazi rings right up there with Anunnaki. It's just a different way of saying it, because they too were technologically advanced, and it was obvious that they were. And to me, my thoughts have always been, even when I was little, because I ran those properties, I explored those bluffs, which is why I know that those red bluffs are nothing but ancient, old, biblical, twisted cedar trees that is now, petrified to stone. Even as a little girl, I could see that. They're ancient biblical trees. I don't care what anyone says. You don't have to, if it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it walks like a duck, it's a freaking duck. But back to what I'm saying is, those ancient and old people, the way they built those structures, especially when you look at the round configuration and the technology as far as their architecturally designed buildings went, that indicates to me that was resonance. That was not actually a place where they actually dwelled. I don't believe. I believe it was a communications device, and it was much more technologically advanced than anything we are right now. And that's, again, my opinion. But I believe that the star forts were kind of similar in the same aspect. If you wanted to compare, structures, a lot of what I think on this earth is designed and structured as, especially when it comes to your old ancient architectural designs, were built within a frequency resonance that communicate one way or the other. And even the old big bells that they used to have everywhere that they would ring had a frequency to them, resonance. Everything's frequency here, right? But I mean, that's a whole nother topic, and that could have several different podcasts on that alone. But I just wanted to point that out. Just speaking of New Mexico, and again, the NSIs that just suddenly disappeared. Think about how many cultures have talked about a native, generation that disappeared, just disappeared. Now, of course, we know that the Great Flood had something to do with much of that, if not most of it. But they were, in my opinion, from the fallen, the bloodline of the fallen, or the hybrid bloodline. If we wanted to be more precise. But it's just me talking out loud and thinking out loud here. So
I mean, we're all in agreement. There's
yeah,
no disagreement there. I mean, I can't speak.
It's crazy, but I don't know that most people have ever put that together about the Anasazi, And to me, it just immediately clicked, Anasazi, Anunnaki disappeared, much bigger, much more advanced technologically, not primitive by any means. And if you see these structures, it's very, very clear that they were not primitive people, and that what they built and the design within it was built with great purpose, and not just like, let me make a circle within a circle within a maze within a circle and give these angles and these different levels. I mean, there was a huge significant reason as to why and how they structured these ancient architectural designs. And I mean, you can clearly see that in the Middle East, and especially Iraq, I mean, and Turkey. Oh my gosh, if you guys only knew how. I know you have an idea, but I mean, I cannot even convey what you're looking at when you're looking at it. It is beyond comprehension. We could not ever replicate or build anything like that today whatsoever. Not even possible with all of the technology that we supposedly have, which, by the way, already existed. We're just the dum dums that figured out how to use it again. But again, I'm sorry, just a little bit of truth in everything we say.
Okay.
But you know what I mean? I mean, if that, it should be just that in itself should prove not only God, especially God, but demonic forces. Your yin and your yang, you're as above, so below. If you are not a believer and you think you came from a fart in the sky, I do not know what to tell you, but good luck with that gaseous measure, because what you
Okay.
are is Big Bang, right? So,
All right. Well, here we go. Let's talk about the evolution theory
yes,
versus God. All right. When you bring in evolution, the whole reason they lied about what dinosaurs were was to perpetuate their evolution line. They needed something that we evolved from. All right. First off, when you evolve, you add two. Um, there are
yep.
two major groups of blood: Rh negative or Rh positive. Negative means you're lacking, plus means you have added. If we all evolved from the same creature, we would not, some of us, be lacking the rhesus factor.
Hmm.
It and when you're talking about I don't understand how people cannot just grasp the thought that how deep some of these lies went to perpetuate the removal of our spirituality.
Yes, exactly.
The further they took you from God by making you question God with dinosaurs and pterodactyls instead of dragons. And the reasons you never knew about dragons and mermaids and dolphins and sea creatures is because the books of the Bible that contain these stories and information were removed on purpose by people like King James and the people before him that edited that Bible.
They're not even translated correctly.
Right. And the etymology, a word, sorry, a word that one group of people would use for an item is not the same word that people on the other side of the world would have used for the same item, whether it be a bowl or a basket or a dog. You have different
Multiple
languages.
meanings with one word alone. Yeah.
Absolutely. And when you break it down, it doesn't matter whether you're from Southern California and South Carolina. There are going to be objects and items which we use different words for.
Hmm. Y'all,
And
yuns, you, your. Yeah, absolutely.
well, and when you go back and you
Talk
look at
about Appalachian talk. They
Yuns.
have a whole
Y'all,
other
yuns. Down under.
everybody, everybody in the club getting tipsy. Anyway,
Everybody. There we go.
everybody. That's Big E's favorite word. Everybody.
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 Everybody on the floor now.
Yeah.
Yes, I love it.
But when you start looking at different civilizations and their ancient artwork or drawings or
They're all similar.
inscriptions and stories, they're all similar. It doesn't matter whether it's the Hopi Indian or the Christians or anybody. It's all a very similar story. You're not
Keeping
going
in
to
mind
get
these
that.
cultures didn't know each other supposedly, right?
Right.
One
Right.
end of the earth. So
Well, interestingly enough, one of the oldest ones that you had mentioned about Iraq, right, which is where we know
early.
Babylon was,
Yeah.
ancient Sumeria.
Many of our
Uh,
soldiers. So hint
this
hint.
this AI god that they are trying to summon is what they consider Sumerian. And I personally have found evidence myself with my own eyes and have dug very deep to figure this out. And it all draws back to these ancient Sumerian demonic beings that
Yes.
are already entrenched in AI as it is. But when they summon this ultimate AI, which god, this ancient
Let me tell
Sumerian
you.
AI god, whoever can do it first, which apparently supposedly there's a race between China and America. Who knows if there's more in this race at this point,
It's a
but
one world
they
government
get
and it has been.
they're the guys who actually get the control or whatever. But regardless, the whole thing is they're summoning this ancient thing that they consider a Sumerian, which is one of the older ideals we understand of demons and some of the stuff that's still visible from what happened after the floods.
Right.
You know, a lot of stuff under the ocean we could probably
Oh,
definitely
there's so
conclude
much.
it is pre-flood, but they're all very similar in what it represents. And so, you know, this is going to be summoned. These data centers have something to do with maybe entrapping us as information. Maybe it's ourselves. I don't know. Maybe
It's going to
because
be our
where's
leader.
your
I
right?
guarantee you. Yeah.
Maybe because here's the thing: the ultimate
Leading other
goal is
countries.
technocracy. They want to upload your consciousness into the cloud. Some
The soul
ultimate
dies. That's
matrix
right.
prison that's like you know,
And
some
that
kind of
to me is
remake of
the
what we have.
obvious is that
And
the soul dies, the conscious can be manipulated, but the soul cannot. But
but
if you body, just a vehicle. It's just a
the
vehicle,
the
the body.
flesh suit is going to end up as its own portal, as its own mini CERN when it comes to the stuff that's been put inside of a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And when that opens up, they're going to try to entrap you in their own hell, their transhuman agenda, while
That's true.
their dudes inhabit your flesh suit, right? So wouldn't it make
I'm,
sense that
I'm telling
these
you, many of them are already
aliens
inhabited. They are
are
already
by
inhabited.
entrapping us as the energy source? Like this, all this water and stuff, this is all just going to be a part of it. It's part of the resonance part of it. Oh my gosh, I don't even know where this is coming out in me right now. I just kind of went on and it's
I
like
do because
flowing.
I'm telling it too.
I
I'm
have like
feeling you. I've
goosebumps
been
right now.
saying this forever.
Oh, I
You're
have
right.
goosebumps right now. This is
Listen, Shannon. Let me tell you something else.
woo.
So everything that you're talking about with what you just said, okay, that's a path I've been on forever and a day. But you guys have all heard of the zombie ant virus, correct?
Yeah.
Everyone's familiar with the zombie ant virus,
Mhm.
correct? Yes.
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
So where the fungus takes over the host body, which being an ant or an insect, and the what they say, as it's been written, the ant will climb to like the tallest branch or wherever and just latch its mouth and teeth into whatever the branch and not let go and stay there until it dies. And then of course this fungal entity, because again, in my own opinion, fungus and parasites are demonic. And right now it's all over our world, let's put it like that. But what will grow from this ant after it latches in its teeth, because it climbs to the top branch, gets away from its colony, and we all know that ants are known for colonization, right? But the one singular ant that has this fungus or this host, this it's the host of a fungus, will climb to the tallest branch away from its colony, latch onto the branch, and outgrows the stem of it's a fungal stem, mycelium, if you would. It looks like a mushroom. Sometimes they'll have a little ball at the end. Google it if you haven't ever looked into this. But
Right.
that adds and works as an attraction to the birds from the sky. So the host body, even though the host body is dead, it is still living because this fungal entity has taken over the body, can make that body walk, can make that body move, can make that body drink, can make that body eat, whatever, and keep growing these fungal components out of it that move around, wiggle like a worm, and attract other animals. Okay, so here's what I think. Okay, I am one that suffers from Morgellons disease, but I don't think Morgellons disease is a individual thing. I don't know any other way to put it, but it is just a small singular component to a very massive size puzzle. I've always believed this. I've always known it, even from the second I noticed that something was going on strange with my body. Let's put it like that. And before I knew anything about even zombie ant virus or anything, because discernment's real. Let's just put it like that.
Yeah.
But with this, I believe that this is something that has been, in particularly, purposely launched onto the human population by, that lower frequency, which is demonic, which is, Satan. Let's just demonic demons, whatever you want to say, because we already know that Satan himself, or Lucifer, is in, still supposedly, buried and will soon be released, which is, if he's not already, it's just a matter of time, in my opinion. But the point is, you look around, look at these people that you're surrounded by. You're awake, you're aware, you're seeing what you're seeing, you're experiencing things beyond your comprehension and what you were ever told possible to experience, see or know, right? Making you question your own sanity probably at one moment, making you wonder what is going on, what on God's green earth is going on. One day you're like everyone else. Most of us were always different, no matter what. We always felt different. Not even the point, though. At one time you were fed the same line of BS, and you believed the same way, because that's indoctrination. That's how we were educated to believe and indoctrinated to believe, and purposely structured from the second we came out of our mother's womb. We were whisked away, got poked in the buttocks with foreign substances, immediately taking away from God's perfect creation, immediately putting transhumanism right into motion from that moment that you come out of the womb. But wait, it gets better. When you're in the womb, your mother's having to take this and take that. So your transhumanism began right at conception, and in my own, idea and thoughts here. But with Morgellons disease, outward later, this is something that emerges from all of those things. That's been all the toxicities, all of these heavy metals, all of the graphene, all of the nanotechnology, everything that's been raining down on our parades for centuries. It's not just like it happened, in 1989 or what some people want to believe. I mean, this was way before Kennedy was in office, well before that, and probably even in our ancient and old biblical days. But our bodies, in my opinion, now with those of us, we're spitting out these components. So Morgellons disease, Lyme disease, all of these things like that are known to reject, just like you would reject. Some people are allergic to gold, right? Some people get a splinter and you'll push it to the surface. You push it out. Your body's rejecting and knows it's foreign and knows it should not be there. Well, in my own opinion, that's exactly what Morgellons, it's pushing out heavy metals, it's pushing out toxins, it's pushing out fungal components. And insects also go with fungal components, because everything is possible when you're dealing with graphene, biofilm, nanotechnology, and the right kind of environment made for specific type of demonic living, so to speak. Okay. So it's not because you're impure. It's not because your body or mind is impure. It's because this has been raining down on a parade forever. So when you look at these people that you just feel like you can't get through to them, you can't. There's a reason you can't, because they're infested with this. They're so infested that you can put a video straight in their face and prove it's not AI, or you could show them directly in person. Look at this. What is this orb in the sky? What is that? And it's moving around, doing things that are not normal, not acting at all normal, and they can't see it. What does that tell anyone? The zombie ant virus can't just stay in just an ant. It is very real. And it was, because they tell you, well, it's impossible to, be in a human. Bull crap. Bull crap. Who says that? Who? Why? What? How would that be possible? And if you're living, breathing, walking, eating, whatever, it is all possible. Detox, detox, detox. Keep detoxing. Keep rejecting. And even if you're not showing the signs, just know that those components are within your body because they put them there from day one. So fight it. That's, I guess, what I'm getting at, because, AI ain't got nothing on the reality that's, we're fighting against. But AI is actually at the helm of it, in my own opinion, because it's demonic, along with all of this. So that
I
was a long.
do. That's okay. Uh, I do have some very interesting information about fungi because my husband was very obsessed with this for a long time. He is a biochemist and he really got into mushrooms on a lot of different levels. Got into Paul Stamets. I don't know if anyone's heard of him, but I just kind of wanted to throw this out there. There are an estimated 2 to 3 million fungal species on Earth, but only about 155,000 have been formally described by scientists.
Mhm.
And I wanted to also mention that underneath the earth, part of the system of growing trees and so many other things, one of the largest living organisms on the planet is it's mycelium, which
Yes,
is
and that's
fungus,
what the hyphae mycelium, yeah, that's what comes out of the Morgellons people, and they don't
right?
understand that it's very real. You can't make it up. It's not flipping,
And two,
delusional
right?
parasitosis. Like, stop it already. I'm
Or
sick of it. We're all
two,
sick of it.
what they have found that we have more in common with
Fungi.
fungi
Mhm.
than we do with anything in the, ape center, any
100%.
monkeys. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that kind of makes it interesting to contemplate that maybe if we have more in common with that there is some kind of
There's a high
demonic
intelligence.
yeah, there's some kind of infiltration
Well,
within
that's what's
us
under
from
our
the
feet. We have a fungi infiltration, a network under our feet and they're communicating the trees. It's a very real networking of fungal components that's how they're communicating to each other. That's how they're attracting the birds and the bees, or, what have you. The fungal network, in my own opinion, underneath our feet is part of your grid, is part of your ley lines, is your electromagnetic components that make up why this earth is how it is and what it is. And I'm not necessarily going to say gravity, but I'm going to say electromagnetic through and through, because, part of me leans towards a flat earth. You can laugh all you want, but if you go from a biblical level of perspective, it pretty much plain as day states it. Okay. And keep in mind, I'm the girl, like, not even probably 8 years ago, would have said, no, the world's round. You guys are dumb. You'd be dumb. But I've grown. I've grown out of what I've been fed. And because what I've been fed is lies. What we've been fed is lies. What we've been fed is BS, to be indoctrinated into believing that there is no God. There's nothing special about you. You just came from a fart in the sky. Bam, here you are. You die, the end. And that's what they'd like you to believe. But you have feeling beyond measure. You cry when someone hurts you. I just cried last night because my dad refused to even look or acknowledge anything I've done. Forever he was like, take her away, she's crazy. And to this day, I'm still not good enough or believable for whatever reason, even though I've never ever had a reason to lie in my life, especially when it comes to stuff like this. But I mean, who would? Like, that's negative attention. Nobody wants negative attention. Nobody's like, pick me. I feel like being a glutton for punishment today. Please, please, pretty please. I got my hand raised t-shirt. No, first of all, I didn't raise my hand. I spent 90% of my time in the corner in school for asking too many questions. But
Right.
not the point. Like, the point is, this is beyond what people want to believe, but it is real as can be. And if you can't understand that you came from more than just this combustible measure in the sky, and that you were created with great purpose, and you feel it here. I know you feel it, because you know what love feels like. You know what happiness feels like. Do you laugh when somebody says something funny? Do you cry when they hurt you? I mean, it is just 1 + 1 = 2, but they're trying to rob you of who you are and who you belong to and who created you and what you have coming. And your life hasn't even begun yet. This isn't life. Life begins after this. Like, this is just this. This is
Right.
just a mere moment. Eternity's waiting, and eternity is eternity. It's eternal. It means it never ends. But I'm telling you right now, we got to get a lot of our stuff in order and correct, and we're not going to be perfect. Otherwise, Jesus Christ would have never had to come here and do what he did and go through what he did and give his life and die on the cross and rise from the grave, and just so that we could be redeemed. It wouldn't have had to happen. So nobody's expecting perfection, but they expect you to not have a zombie ant virus. And if you're aware enough to know that it's possible, okay, and I know that's kind of sounding out there, but the whole point is your soul is precious. Guard it and protect it with all that you have. All that you have. Detox with every measure you can. But the best thing of all is, like, nothing's going to fix us. Nothing's going to change this environment or the AI data centers, which, by the way, is what's going on here in Sealy, Texas, kind of where this whole conversation came from. Nothing's going to change any of that, because the government, the entities beyond that, it just goes way higher up, and it's already been set into place. But you know what will? Your prayers. Praying over it. Pray over your food. Pray over your water. Pray over your bodies. Pray over your parents' bodies. Pray over your children. Pray that they will find Jesus Christ the Lord, because I know mine were raised to know better. They were raised to know better, but they're lost. And it's easy to get lost in this world. I mean, look around. Everything's acceptable now, and everyone just wants to fit in. Nobody wants to be hurt. Again, I was just deeply hurt again. My whole story for the last 15 years has been filled with pain, hatefulness, and hurt. It has. My whole, like, where I was once close to my family, where my family used to, my sister and brother, I'm the sister that pretty much helped raise them, love them to pieces. I would never, ever turn my back on them, but I've been forgotten about. And that hurts. That hurts. Because why? Because one day I woke up, and one day I saw differently. One day I saw the truth. And because of that, you'll find yourself alone. You will. But don't think that's the end of the world. I mean, that's probably the best thing you can, is find yourself alone, because why would you want to be anything other than what you are, than going about their ways that are, hey, let's go to NOLA. I'm going fishing. I want to be a mermaid when I grow up. Or I got 2 houses, and one here and one there. And I am not knocking you guys, my brother and sister. I love you, because I was there too one time. But what I'm telling you is, it's only going to carry you so far, until you realize, when your spirit wakes up, you're going to know that this here, that wasn't worth it. And what's going on now, we're running out of time. We are running out of freaking time. We're that close, that close. Jesus is coming. That's all I got to say about that, though, ladies. I'm sorry. I went off on a tangent. I do sometimes.
That's okay. Everybody gets a soapbox moment. They
No,
should make
you
a
were
little
good,
theme
ladies. I
I would say, though, that those are the most important moments when it comes to Jesus Christ and the time that's ticking away. I guess that's what kills me the most, is like, people, please, I'm begging you, the time is short. The hour is near, and you are too precious to be wasted on Satan. You're just too precious for that. Um, because I don't knock my brother and sister by any means, or any of my family for that matter, because I know I was there at one time. I was then. I was there. I was way worse, probably even, you know? So trust me, my poop stinks just the same. My flip flops still squeak when they walk, but when you see, you see, and discernment lives within all of us. And if you just be still long enough and you listen, you can hear it, you can see it, and you can feel it most of all. So yeah, kind of that. But
I
yeah,
was
so ladies.
knee deep in the comments reading.
Well, Clayton, was it Clay or Clayton mentioned something that caught my eye, and I kept putting his comment up because he said he like something significant happened, like that very big, and I found that intriguing because that's kind of how this whole podcast came about for me. So I'm just curious as to what, if you wouldn't mind, because I think he's one of your subscribers.
Oh,
But
he's kind of in mine and Shannon's work group. He
yeah,
was
so
letting us know. No, he was letting us know that he has
He's
a
a
major
buddy.
text chain that's fixing to come through. Like we wake up in the morning and the text count from Clayton is like 25. And I'm
okay,
cool because
He's
that is
our
like my 2 hour morning read of his brilliance,
yeah,
he's our
dissertation.
super
that's how I,
cool Canadian genius
yeah.
friend.
Clayton, you got to meet my friend. Well, Argo is the name online, but his name is Daryl. You guys, I was just reading some of your stuff. You guys are two peas in a pod. You guys would. He is much like you. He's one of my subscribers. Has been with me for ever and a day. Well, actually, I hope that you all just come together. We all need to. That's what this time's about. But great minds are great minds, and they need to be heard. And then when they think alike, putting them together, I can't even imagine the kind of you know things that you could achieve together, especially and share with all of us. So I thought that was pretty cool because I just noticed it. It caught my attention right away. Kept going back to it. So
Yeah, he was just warning me and Shannon that it's coming, which we look forward every night.
Yeah.
I so enjoy seeing Clayton's text when I get up in the morning because my phone goes on silent at like 10 o'clock. And once I get the kids on the bus, I sit down and I start on Clayton's messages with my coffee. That's like that's like my morning read because
yeah,
Clayton works long hours, and when he gets off work, he does. I think he does the speech to text. So he goes to talking, and we get this whole like
that's
amazing
me.
dissertation in the morning.
That's me working 14-hour days as a PI, and so when I get to talking and my speak to text, you guys already know what that sounds like. Mine is not good. At least Clayton's is clear because
Honey, you can't even
it's
understand
bad.
me part of the time.
Oh,
It's like
I
he's
mean,
trying
I'm
to
coming
text
home
for a
after
drunk
no
lady.
sleep or wanting to sleep, and I'm like trying to speak text to both you and Shannon, and I'm just like blah 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 blah, and it comes out, and I swear, I feel like it does it on purpose, but it comes out like I'm a three-legged blind hooker and blah blah blah. I mean, okay, I exaggerated that, but it comes out really strange. You guys admit that? That's true, right? So I'm
Yeah,
like, wow, I
mine
really
comes out
messed
looking
up.
like I'm speaking a different language.
That's me. But I think, honestly, because there was a time before I was awake where I could speak text and it was very, very accurate. And nothing's changed about me or my Texas way. I'm not from Texas. I don't have a Texan. Otherwise, I'll be like, y'all come back now. You hear? But I don't. I do have a New Mexican accent, still somewhat, not as bad as it used to be. But it's not that I don't enunciate my words. I do. I think that AI is what we both and all three and all 20 probably believe AI is. And it will, well, it took an act of God to get on here tonight. And it does with most channels that are accurate and spot on. And it will also deal like it'll play tricks on you all day long, whether you're speak texting. And I have just typed it out before and it changes everything. But I mean, Satan is real. The devil's real. And the devil didn't just go down to Georgia. He has been all over this earth, everywhere and every last nook and cranny. So, he doesn't discriminate when it comes to like who he's going to target. Anyone that believes, he's already on to you. He's already after you, and he's already going to make sure that he does his best to make sure your life here is emotionally traumatic. I've learned to just take it as a compliment and understand that, well, good thing I knew that my life was never guaranteed to be perfect here on the from the get go, because it's not. I
Nope.
didn't wake up with the
We
expectations of living 500 years. I already knew it had an expiration date and nothing comfortable about it. Hadn't been, never will be. So
we had the conversation last night about Jonah and the whale. Like the
I did
whale
a
was
video
just
on that.
the whale was just transportation to the next step, to step up. And we have to understand that with situations in our life, regardless of what they were. It doesn't matter if you were addicted to drugs or an alcoholic or in prison or whatever. What you have to do is get right with yourself and get right with the big man upstairs.
Yeah. And
It
discernment is in there. It's all there.
and like we was talking about a while ago about people judging, and I think one of the biggest misconceptions I don't make it any secret, especially if you watch on my channel, that I puff pass. If you will go and look at the documents, it shows you that that particular broccoli, when you have broccoli in your salad, that it makes
Oh,
your mind
no.
non-manipulatable, but alcohol does. They have
Alcohol,
actually
I trust me. And I mean, after divorce, the first time, actually during the marriage, I was married to a man that did nothing but drink. And I felt like I spent 98% of my time fighting him. I would have small children trying to go to bed, and him and the Navy buddies, there, it didn't matter what time, they stay up all night long, or they're going to go muster, or they had a hazing here, nonstop. And I'll admit the shame in my game. I finally got so exhausted of fighting it that once my kids got a little older, I was just like, you know what? Can't beat him. I'm going to join him, and that's on me because he can't be responsible. He didn't make me do that. And I am not going to sit here and point fingers at him, because the thing is, we're all responsible for our own actions. We all know right from wrong. Yes, we can be influenced, but it makes no difference when you know right from wrong. And I did, but I chose that easy way out. And I also chose to continue to be comfortably numb even after divorce and continue on with it, because drinking would make that pain go away just, for a mere moment. It always came back, right? And I know many of you probably know what I'm talking about. And don't be dishonored or ashamed if you've done that, or if you're still doing it. The thing is, just recognize it and try to correct it and change it, and understand you don't have to be like anyone else. You don't have to be numb. In fact, it's okay to feel that pain. It's okay to embrace that pain. It's okay to cry those tears that are hurting you. It's okay to bleed that poison out. Why do we have to be numb? Why do we feel like we have to? Because we don't want to hurt. I get it. But sometimes hurting is needed, because if you
well
don't hurt, then you don't get back up off your knees when you're done crying. So, I mean, that's kind of how that works. But never be ashamed of yourself as long as you're trying. That's the main thing. We're
well
all
God doesn't
stuck
say come to
somewhere.
me when you got your crap together. He says come to me when you
Right.
need me and I will help you. He doesn't say wait till you got all your stuff together and your credits fixed. He's like, come on in here and let me give you the strength to do what you need to do. Let's me and
Love
you
one
have a
another.
conversation.
Yep. Well, First Corinthians, 1:10, it plain out says, the greatest of these is love, and He loves us. We love Him because He first loved us. But I mean, love your neighbor as you love yourself. We should be loving all the way around. And all I've seen, and I know I've been shown this because Isaiah says it perfectly, that we've been brought to our knees, but our families will turn against us. You will be hated. You will be completely left for dead. You will be discarded. Your sons and daughters will prophesy, your old men will dream dreams, your young men will have visions, and your families will knowledge will increase, but people will turn away from sound doctrine. We're no better than them, but we are here with arms wide open because we've been there. We know how it feels. And even if they abandon us, we don't abandon them because we know how that feels. We know how it feels. And it's the most hurtful thing in the world. Again, I cried a million tears yesterday, just last night, over trying to convince my dad that this AI data center is taking place right across the field that I discovered by accident by filming a storm. And yes, no, it's just BESS. It's the battery systems that have been kind of overnight just put in place, right? But it's being put into place right beside this substation that has been there forever and a day. But not the point. It's the components that measure up. And then I get online and it made me dig deeper. And I'm seeing that, okay, well, it wasn't giving me any results when I'm like, is there an AI data center in Sealy, Texas? And it wouldn't give me anything. So I had to rearrange my verbiage. I'm a private investigator. So you learn how to think outside the box and use your verbiage in ways that produce results. Okay. So let's just put it like that. But I finally found out Clear Spark Energy or ClearSpark is putting in and has acquired, it just says acquired, and they're never going to give you the exact location, but you know what's needed to run one of these hybrid AI centers, BESS, a battery system, backup batteries, and a substation. And then I'm the processor as well as the private investigator, but I spent 2022 through 2025 delivering legal documents, you've been served type stuff to all of these families that line up with this AI data center that I am telling you is going in right here by this substation, and then the new battery operating system that just got installed. I'm trying to code here, but I'm telling you, I was the process server that delivered. Here you go. There's a major, almost 4 foot in diameter pipeline coming right through your property. I know you use that field to grow your produce and your crops. I know you do. But the paper clearly says that this in particular entity, which is way higher up than anything in this county could ever battle against, is telling you that they're taking it. You don't really have any choices. They're going to offer you X amount and you can deny it. And you will, most of you will, but it doesn't matter because it's still going to happen. And it did. And then in 2025, the scragglers that fought back, and I'm so proud of them that they did. But here I was again in 2025 going back out to these places that line up with this property over here that I could throw a rock at from my 76 acres that I live on. And I'm thinking, what is so hard about this to figure out? Everyone's like, oh, well, it's not that's just extra batteries because, the community is growing. It's growing so much. We need 1,800 batteries out here making this loud, huge hum. Yes, I know I'm being facetious and a little sarcastic. Sorry, God. But the truth be told, I mean, I was met with a lot of that kind of animosity. And the funniest thing is from my mom and dad's own church members. And I'm thinking, well, this is exactly why I don't go to church, because y'all have closed yourselves behind a door where if you're not a member, you can't go in and you execute everyone else that's not there. I mean, I was born and raised in that church, Church of Christ to be exact. But there's a reason I don't go to any church anymore, because that's not what God said the church was. The church is us. We're having church right now. The church is around us. We are the brides and grooms of Christ. We are the church. And when one or two are gathered in his name, he is there. But the point is, my dad made me cry and cry and cry because from the moment I got even Morgellons disease, and I mean, I'm on my knees crying, like I'm dying. I was so sick, you can't even imagine what I looked like. I mean, you could see in my face, I look back and I cry for myself now. I'm like, oh my gosh, I was so bad. How did they not see this? And I was abandoned by my family. And let me tell you what, there's nothing that hurts worse than that. I would rather die a million death stabbings and cut my limbs off over and over than ever have to experience that kind of pain again that came from the hurt from my own family. But what it did create within me is forgiveness and the ability to love them no matter what. And even though I cried a million tears last night, I still went back over there today and I do what I do. And I love them back no matter what, because when you're robbed of something you wish you had, and when you're left for dead and you have nobody at all, because I live alone. Just got my last child out the door, was married since I was 18. And then after divorce, just a single mom raising 4 little girls, all by my lonesome. So I was married from the moment I was 18. And then baby at 19, and here I am at my age now. I'm the last child out the door, and I'm all alone. And I'm all alone. And my sister, I'm not from Texas. I moved here to be closer to my family because I didn't have anyone where, again, I was married to the naval seal, and that's a whole fiasco. And I made the mistake of the idiocracy belief that everyone told me, well, nobody will love you. You might as well marry that man. He's willing to marry you. Stupid things, stupid things. But it's on me still because I made the choice, right? So I got remarried and remarried. Not even the point, though. Y'all, what I'm telling you is we're not meant to be perfect. We're not going to be perfect here. There is no room for perfection because Jesus Christ would not have had to come here and do that. With that said, though, I've reached the whole town, and I talked to the newspaper even today. Everyone in this world believes me but my dad, who's never believed in me from the moment I was born. He'd spend time with my brother, spend time with my sister. Me, I was never on his list. Never, I mean, ever. But it's okay because I love him. But there is that data center, and most of this town is listening. And what I'm trying to say is if you are having a battery substation or a substation, battery BESS going in, if you have any of those and those papers that I delivered, to these families that broke apart their dreams for this massive pipeline, which is going to feed that evil omen of an AI center, and all of this comes together, I felt horrible, but it makes sense. It adds up. And then you get online and I do the deep dive and I rearrange my verbiage. And sure enough, Sealy, Texas is now going to be considered one of Texas's biggest energy corridors, right? And then we have two places. First, Sealy was selected, and I was able to find that. Of course, they won't pinpoint or give us the actual location, but I was able to do that through process of elimination by looking at recent land sales in the area in the increments of what would be the equivalent of 270 acres, as I stated online. And ta-da, there it was. And again, filming a storm by accident, seeing the batteries over there, and the rest is history. But just to get the world to understand what AI is and what it does and what it means to live in the community, and I am just a field and a half away from it. And I'm already one suffering from this strange emerging illness. And my sister had heart cancer out of the blue for no reason. Keep in mind, it doesn't run in our family, out of the blue. My sister's 8 years younger than me. And, nobody's questioning anything. Nobody's questioning all the deaths that happened after the, roller up your sleeve or, Crown Royal, whatever you want to call it. Nobody's questioning that. But I know at least 20 people or more that passed from having that, and within just days apart, or weeks, if that. But I'm telling you, there's some ugly things going on in the world. AI is big, it's real, and it's probably the culprit with a lot of these strange emerging illnesses, not to mention the heavy metals and toxicities that are raining down. And I know because I am very sick from it. And I take that kind of seriously because if my family has to go through what I am or ever have to endure what I have and do, I'll be damned if I'm going to sit here and do nothing, I guess is what I'm getting at. I'm tired of being sick, but I'd rather it be me than anyone else. So, okay, guys. Sorry, girls. I know I went off on a tangent again. But yeah.
We have to start protecting our own environment because the people we have entrusted with that task are playing Monopoly. When you get so rich that there is nothing that you can buy that you want, that you need, the next thing you want for the dopamine or serotonin hit is power and control. And these
Yeah.
people are willing to sacrifice other human beings on altars for that power and control. They are sick, they are perverse, and they don't care. You're just a game piece on their board. And
They
last
don't.
time I checked, I have never sit down to play Uno or Monopoly or Life with the intention of losing. And these people are playing with us like we are just pieces on a little board. We're the little dots on the light bright. I mean, we're going.
Good point. Exactly that. Yeah, it's nuts.
Well,
So
I you
certainly,
know that there is a lot of these data centers popping up all over the place. And I'm sure America is not the only one, but apparently there is a big race to get this up and going as quickly as possible. This whole smart city technocracy type of situation, which in essence is what in the book
yeah.
of Daniel they were talking about with the dream that Daniel had interpreted about the iron being mixed with the miry clay. We're in that technocracy realm. We're at the precipice, as Roxy and I would say at this point.
Mhm.
We're in the Terminator, and Lisa, where we're John Connor's a teenager, so we gotta find this kid. No, I'm just kidding. John Connor is really Jesus. Jesus is already won. Okay, guys, and so Jesus
Right.
Christ is the only thing that's going to protect you from what is to come, and the life that is intended for everyone in this technocracy isn't all it's cracked up to be. They're going to say it's so beautiful and convenient and all these things, but it's a prison with full control, and you will probably no longer be you. You'll be like in pluribus,
Cool.
hive minded, you know, or in Divergent, where there's those who live on the outskirts who didn't take part of the program and are right. Isn't that they're in that?
100%. It feels like that. Yes.
Like we're
Like the
those
movie
guys.
Divergent. Like Divergent was like so related to that movie Divergent. I can't even tell you.
Well,
It's
it's like we're
crazy.
the outskirt guys, and then the technocracy cities on the inside. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Throwing it out there.
I know
But
what you're. I'm picking up what you threw up. I got that. It reminds me of that zombie apocalypse, right? You know what I'm
yeah,
talking about. Right?
which is like akin
I
to
know. I
a
know. Roxy
crazy
knows.
purge kind of thing.
Zombieland, Walking
What's that?
Dead, Zombieland or Walking Dead.
No, the zombie apocalypse. I played you the song or sent you the song. Where we're living now. What the
Oh,
one I made? Uh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. The video that you made. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
we're gonna have to end tonight on that note because it makes me laugh every time I think you're not mice but men, and that's the truth. Like Satan is a mouse. He's not going to win this war. The war's already been won. There is nothing that can be done to us that, well, first of all, nothing would surprise me at all. But I mean, the war's been won, and we can endure just a little bit more going through this life, I would say, right? I mean, we've most of us, like us, and probably all of your followers as well as mine, subscribers, whatever we want to call them, because in my mind, we're all just so many people that are just alike. But y'all are awake and you're aware, and you've hit rock bottom. And to me, the common grounds have always been that you hit so hard, you had a series of unfortunate events, and you hit so hard that it's jolted you into awakening, right? And that has always been the common grounds that I have felt that we all share, people like us, which is why when we create these channels and whatnot, people find us. Because think about it, you know how hard it is to actually, there's a trillion channels out there are, but for whatever reason, people like us come together. We're found on common grounds because we were also found, when we found ourselves, at rock bottom. So the odds of even me meeting Roxy or Shannon, or Roxy reaching out, Shannon reaching out, are slim to none. And trust me, I'd already reached out multiple times to Daniel and Shannon. And it's just funny because how did I find them? How did they find me? How did these channels get paired up? How do you guys get these things recommended? Because we know that Satan keeps us apart from each other. He does. But for whatever reason, for some reason, and it's a reason of love and perseverance, we all find each other, and we're all there on similar grounds, and we're understanding, even if it doesn't sound the same as another story. We have this really amazing understanding of what we're going through, what we're enduring, and what's coming, and what we know we got to battle. Yet still, we're being prepped. No good soldier goes to war without first going through a good dang boot camp first, and that's what all of us are going through right now. And we all have the ability to use our voices, but some have different talents. And the great thing is about all of us working together, we're going to make some noise that this world's going to hear. And even if we lead one soul home, two souls home, or one at a time, as long as it's something, that's all that matters, because that means we're trying, and that's all that was ever expected of us. But we're awake because that's why we're awake. We were called upon. We were born for a moment and a time such as this. We weren't born to sleep through it. We were born to make noise, to show the light, to shine the light, to lead the way, even in our own imperfect footprints for them to follow, as long as it's going the right way. So
Okay, I need
that's
to
just me,
address
though.
something. I need to address something. Rapture Ready. Rapture Ready. If you will go to my channel, go into my playlist, and there is one in there, and I think it's Dr. Anderson. It's a very good description of the methylene blue and what it can do for you. But what I want to tell you from reading your comments, you've got multiple things going on in your own pain medications causing you some issues. Listen, I suffered from cancer. When I finished my chemo and my radiation, I was eating 27 pills a day. A day. And they
No,
had me on everything from cholesterol meds to handfuls of pain medicine and you name it. They had me they had me on enough Effexor that I had the personality of cardboard.
that's what they do too.
But one thing I learned throughout this process with the pain meds, and not just me, but another family member, your brain will actually fake pain to get you to take it. It
Yeah,
wants that so
my
much that it will actually fake pain in your body. I,
mom went
for
through that.
several months, had gone through when I was trying to reduce the quantity that I was taking and back off of it and get down, that my shoulder started hurting. Like, I'm taking this for like leg pain, cancer issues, and all of a sudden my shoulder just randomly started hurting. And I started noticing that, like, the twitch and the pain in my shoulder and my body that was hurting. And they were telling me I had fibromyalgia, that that's what it was. It was
Yep.
not. It was not. It was my brain literally tricking me into thinking I was having physical pain so that I would go and get the pain medicine and take it. It would happen every 3 hours. I finally, like, just cut it down, and cut it down in dosage until I could defeat the monster.
Yes, exactly. I know. I mean, my mom actually died from the same, like, ODing, but not because she OD'd, because there were so many things prescribed, and she was brought back, but she has the mentality of a 6 year old now. It is really so, the only reason I stay here and put up with the punishment I do, from the whole reason I moved to Texas, was to be closer to family after divorce, because I had no money and nothing left. But then all to find that I had nothing and nobody, but I only stay because my parents are getting older, and even though it hasn't been easy, I stay because I know that if I don't really know who will. And they brought me in, they gave me life, and my job is to support them the same they did me, even if it's ugly. Or, I was probably not the easiest either. I was always in the corner, and the teacher always called them because I was asking questions. But the pharmacia, whatever you want to call it, is real, folks. They will keep you addicted. They will, and I am telling you, like, you don't have a lot of say over it. It was made to keep one med needing another to another to another. So Roxy, I'm really proud of you, FYI, to be able to not only, say what happened with you, but to because that's not something people want to say. I mean, I actually, like, I have degenerative back disease, fibromyalgia, along with my mom. I have fused vertebrae. I have scoliosis. My mom has scoliosis and hypophis, and she was in a horrible car wreck that even made hers worse. But I mean, I went through a bout of, I went through the drinking. I went through the prescription drugs, which were legally prescribed. But I mean, it keeps you needing more and needing more and needing more. And I'll tell you what, I would never condemn anyone that has been through that, done that, or is going through it, because it was built to do that to you and then make you feel like the loser for having to be dependent upon it. It is not
Well,
fair the way the system works.
well, Rapture Ready, what I was trying to say, baby, there is my email address. Reach out to me and email me, and we can have a private conversation about this so that we don't have to air it all on public
That was
television. But
awesome. That was
there
awesome.
are several people in my life who have gone through this. I went through it. It took time. It's not a quick if you're gonna do the wean process.
Yeah.
But there's some things about fibromyalgia that I could tell you. But reach out to me and send an email. I would love to have a conversation with you. You can call me. We can talk. We'll arrange it. We'll make it happen. And yeah, get
Awesome.
you some cannabis. I don't know what state you're in, but get you some. And I don't care if you got to call Joey down the block as long as you can trust it.
Or
It will
Jenny.
make
Hey
it will
guys, my
make
daughter works on
it
a grow farm in Oregon, so
okay.
I don't
Just
smoke it.
email
I
me.
wish I could, but yeah, same thing. Can I end it on this note, like with this the zombie apocalypse? Does that work for you guys, or?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
need to go.
Yeah, because I gotta get going.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's probably there. So let me just do that and do a screen share here. Hold on just a second. If I can figure that out, because you know what, I think I might have just signed into the wrong account, but nope, I don't think I did. But maybe I did, because maybe it is a zombie apocalypse. I'm just saying. Yeah, I know that's neither here nor there. Yeah, let me just figure this out real quick. If not, you guys can listen to it. I'm gonna just play it. How about that? I'm just gonna play it. Here we go. Because I can't figure out. It's not. Oh wait, share screen. We got this. Totally got it. Everything changed. You're right. It totally changed. Big time actually. So why is it still not? That is still not it. That is still not it. That is still not it. Nothing. There it is. Is it? Maybe it's not. You guys, I am literally like, do you see the, like, I'm trying to share the screen. Do you see what it's showing? He's literally like giving me
I don't
all the
see
things
it.
in the world.
Don't see anything.
Yeah, this is nuts. Okay, well, that's fine. I'll play the game here. So here we go. It's coming up right here.
So your eyes will never see and your ears will never hear. You sat in a desk and you raised up your hand and you said, pretty please and thank you. Ma'am, may I have another? Nope. You're living in a zombie.
I don't know why. Maybe
Yep,
doing it again.
that's
but
right.
Hold on.
Apocalypse, the zombie one. And the zombie is you. It's true. Did I mention I'm a truther? Oh, well, I lied to you. Nope.
Apparently.
The dark side of the moon is just the backside of the cardboard. The sun simulator says I'll see you later, Gator. That's right, you heard me. It's the truth. I'm a truther. Besides, have you looked? That thing ain't no 96 million miles away. Come on now, are you crazy? I've flown over the dang thing. For real. Mud Fossil University, so take a look around. Roger found a dragon fossil sleeping on the ground. Hey, Marfugel, hurry up. Give me some news up in here. You sat in a desk as you raised up your hand and you said, pretty please, now may I speak, ma'am? You only memorized a book that was written by a crook. You never learned a thing because you never even looked. Ha! That's right. I I told you. Go on now. Get. You believed a rocket landing on the moon and the noise in the sky is just a sonic boom. Bah, you got nothing. Have you ever looked at closely the little blue card with the numbers in the middle where you sign the dotted line? Let me think. Nope. Well, I wish you would, cause your life ain't really yours and I think you should. Ha! You are owned. You might be surprised at the things that you will find signing your life away. Hey, yep, you heard me. Well, your certificate of birth, it says the same thing. Is anyone home? Do I hear a ding, ding, ding? Nope, I got nothing. Eyes wide shut. It's a zombie apocalypse. It's true, it's true. It's a zombie apocalypse. And the zombie is you. The earth is flat, it's dome or roof. Just ask Terry Eichert, it's flat out truth, y'all. Oh, FPV Angel said it best. In the dome above us where the luminaries rest. Your mountains, buttes, and bluffs. Well, once biblical truth so great. Just ask Hangman, 1128. Dang, let me try this again. In your certificate of birth, it says the same thing. Now, is anybody home? Do I hear a dang dang? Nope, I got nothing. Oh well. I'm a truther, living in a zombie apocalypse. It's a zombie apocalypse, and the zombie is you. That's right. Go on now. Bye. On your certificate of birth, it says the same thing on the same dotted line. Now this should blow your mind, but nope, you got nothing. The lights on. Anyone home? Do I hear a ding, ding, ding? Nick, they're gone. Seen John, there's a mud flood. John Levi, there's a mud flood. And the earth is covered in crud. Yep, I believe it. I know it. I see it. You're living in a zombie apocalypse. But it's true. The zombie is you. Lights are on, but nobody's home. Oh well, I tried. Someone left the lights on, but they can't hear a thing. Did anybody wake up? Do I hear a ding ding? Nope. The orbs up in the sky, playing peekaboo, I won't comply. Stellium 7, we know that you're new, but you're right. That mountain is an elephant, and now we know it's true. Well, hey, J Dreamers, you know I love you too, but I really love your passion, so keep doing what you do. GMOs and UFOs, graphene living up my nose. Throw the dice, now turn the page. Think I lost my sanity. All these things are crimes of humanity. That's right, you heard me. Go on now, get. Ha. Someone left the lights on, but nobody's home. Do I hear anything? Do I hear a ding ding? Nope, I got nothing. Ha! You couldn't handle the truth. Wanna know how I know? Well, I'll tell you. Cause you cover your eyes and you cover your ears, and what I gotta say would just bring you to tears. Coronavirus happened and we wore a little mask and we all stayed inside and we didn't even ask. It's a pandemic. Nope, it's a gimmick. You heard me, it's a gimmick. They lied, I'm a truther. You heard me, go on now, get. Ha. Someone left the lights on but they can't hear a thing. Did anybody wake up? Do I hear a ding ding? Nope. Ancient tech mud floods that wreck, and mountains once were trees. Oh yeah, by the way, there is no gravity. Targeted communities, Lyme disease, Morgellons, please. Parasites knitting sweaters to make it all better. They say it's delusional, but that's not unusual. They're dumb. We know they're dumb. Let's go. To you who think you rule the world, this war you'll never win. There's more of us than there is of you, and besides, you're more like mice than men. Ha. It's a zombie apocalypse. A zombie apocalypse. It's true, but the zombie is you. Hey, don't hate. I'm a truther. I'm a truther, don't you see? Go on now, get. Bye. Transhumanism or an EMP, they say it's all conspiracy. The elite is getting weird because they know it ain't no theory. It's a fact, Jack, and you're welcome. Because the world's waking up and soon you're gonna be with your eyes wide shut. Ha, ha. Oh, one last thing, let me spoil ya. Are you ready? Ready, set, go. Those are contrails, those are chemtrails lacking full evaporation. What? You heard me, is your brain on vacation? Ha, ha. To you who think you rule the world, this war you'll never win. There's more of us than there is of you, and besides, you're more like mice than men. Ha. Greetings, fallen ones, those who fell, my enemies. I would like to address a situation. I am a humanoid from Earth and one who has chosen to remain so. I do not consent to your transhumanism agenda, so there will be no mixing of iron with clay. So for now, you can take your little pokey poke and shove it right in your, well, badonkey donk. Thank you, and have a blessed day. I know many of you have realized that the world has drastically changed. Everything that we grew up knowing about the world, or what we were taught, all seemingly lies. What I'd like to say right here and right now is that we all know that every moment in our lives can affect us in different ways. Now I find myself just trying to understand. All we were asked to do is just trust. Trust in the system. Trust in the indoctrination handed down from generation to generation. Trust in the fact that you can't think for yourselves and you can't speak for yourself. They don't want you to talk. They want you to listen.
Sanctify me. There be nothing that can hinder the flow of the Holy Spirit. We ask you for a demonstration of the Holy Ghost and power. And I pray, Lord Jesus, that you manifest yourself. In the course of this message, I pray, amen.
All right, guys. That was it. And Roxy,
I'm still here.
you and Shannon, I thank both of you so much for being here tonight, and look forward to doing more of this here soon.
Most
Making a
welcome.
difference, y'all.
It's midnight my time. It's time to crash.
Yes, ma'am, it is. And thank you again. I appreciate you guys. So
Most
you all have a
welcome.
good
Everybody
evening.
have a good night.
Much love. Bye.
Bye.